Good day, everybody. Today we're going to look at English Home Language and First Additional Language, grade 4 to 6. And this is the research project for Term 3, 2023, Task 6 and 7. I'm your presenter, Cynthia Job, and what you are going to look at is compiled by Dean Thirion. First of all, the goals of the research project. To introduce learners to different literature genres, to promote reading in a variety of genres, to teach learners how to do a research project, to teach learners how to practically apply their research in a writing project, and finally to guide learners to do an oral presentation of their research. There are 3 different phases to the research project. Part 1, which counts 20 marks, is the research. Learners get the opportunity to research one specific genre in class. Part 2, which counts 30 marks, is creative writing. Learners create a piece of writing related to their research. Part 3, which counts 20 marks, is the oral presentation. Learners talk about their project, the research and the creative writing piece. Introductory lessons to learners, literary study. Each genre must be taught specifically. Have a quiz to find out what the learners already know about the specific genre. Discuss terms used in the specific genre. Read the text with the learners. The learners must take notes and summarize the information shared. Genre. Compare it to other genres, the author, etc. Learners research the specific poet or writer and share the facts. Study and share information about the genre. Research the themes that will be used for the writing piece. The use of sources. Content from sources may not simply be copied and pasted. Information must be written in the learner's own words. At least 3 sources must be used. Quotations from a source are written between quotation marks. The source or author must be mentioned if there is a quote. There must be a bibliography at the end of the task. The writing of the bibliography. Surname, comma, names or initials, full stop, title, full stop, name of publisher, comma, date, full stop. Examples. Barnard, comma, Christian, full stop, One Life, full stop, Howard Timmins, comma, 1969, full stop. Entries are arranged alphabetically by surname. Here's another example. Little Oxford Dictionary, comma, 2021. This is an instance or an example of where there is no author. Baker, comma, Peter. Dogs are man's best friend, full stop. In Animal Talk, dot, full stop, dot, for June 2014. That is the example of a magazine. The internet. This is the address that appears at the top of the box of the search engine. If you print the article, the bibliography also appears on it. For example, www.akc.org/expert/advice/dogs/breeds/the/most popular dog breeds of 2020. Part 1. The research. Learners conduct research on one of the following genres: folk tales, short stories, poetry, drama, novels, and each grade must do a different genre. All the genres must be covered in the intermediate phase. Part 1. Research. Step 1. Consult at least 3 sources. Research the characteristics of each genre. The following aspects apply. Characters, main characters and their characteristics. Environment, space and time. Structure of the plot. How different parts of the story are put together. Language use, standard English, use of slang words, colloquial English. External conflict, clash between two characters. Inner conflict, a battle in the character's mind. Theme, message or main idea of the story. Building a short story. The structure of a short story. We start, number 1, exposition. The story begins introducing characters and setting. Number 2, the rising action. Develop the plot, a problem or conflict arises. 3, the climax. The problem reaches a high point, great suspense and lots of action. 4, the fall in action. The problem is being sorted out, less action, but keeping your reader engaged. 5, resolution. The problem is finally solved. Make the ending interesting but short. The structure of a drama. On the left is the diagram of the exposition, the rising actions, the climax, declining actions and resolution. Terminology. Milieu, time and space. Protagonist is the main character. The antagonist, the opponent. You have your props, which is your equipment. Stage directions, the narrator, acts and scenes. Folk tales, characteristics. These are stories that have been passed down from generation to generation. This includes fairy tales and fables. They are interesting characters. Folk tales were told to teach children a lesson or to explain a natural phenomenon. Animals can talk. Magic is used. Characters have extraordinary powers. It is often about survival. Examples of South African folk tales are Auntie Somers, Van Hunks and the Devil, and How Zebra Got Its Stripes. The characteristics of a novel. A novel is a narrative based on human experiences. Different types of novels. It is fiction and its purpose is to entertain or convince. Milieu, the place and time. Theme is the central message. Characterization, the main character, the person who is at the center of the action. The narrator is a first person or a third person narrator. Plot, everything that happens in the story. Conflict, outer and inner conflict. Climax, the place where suspense is at its highest. Unraveling the story, the resolution or the denouement and conclusion. On the right, we have a diagram of the plot, the introduction, suspense building, climax, denouement, and the ending. Characteristics of poetry. A poem is word economic and every word is important. A poem can also be set to music and sung as a song. Research the poet and his or her most important works. Building. Lines in a poem are divided into stanzas. The mood of the poem is important. Notice how the rhythm in the poem is supported by sound patterns. Who is the speaker in the poem? What does the title mean and how does it relate to the content? What is the main idea? Imagery, similes, metaphors and personification. Stylistic figures, imitation, metonymy, hyperbole, euphemism, enjambment, one-word lines, etc. Rhyme, full rhyme, cross rhyme, pair rhyme, embracing rhyme, broken rhyme, free verse form. Half rhyme, which is alliteration and assonance. Research step 2. Read a text in the chosen genre. Read the text carefully. While reading, keep the following in mind. Look at the title. How does the title relate to the content? How are the characters introduced? How is suspense in the story created? Where is the climax of the story? What is the denouement in the story? Look at the conclusion. How does it connect to the beginning of the story? Is there a lesson to be learned from the story? Research step 3. Formulate a research question. A research question is a question that addresses a core aspect of the text that is answered through analysis at the end of the study. Example: how did the main character's action lead to a change in circumstances? Answer research questions about the text and genre. Form a hypothesis. The hypothesis is an assumption that is supported by the evidence that has been collected. Example: the main character's actions led to a change in his or her circumstances. Motivate the hypothesis with evidence from the text. Research step 4. Draw a mind map or poster of the main ideas that were learnt during the research. Add drawings, photos or illustrations. Use colour. Show the mind map during the oral presentation of the project. Part 2. Creative writing. The passage and genre serve as inspiration for the writing. Learners decide which theme they want to write about. There are different themes for each grade. Process writing is important. The piece of writing must be relevant. The requirements of the genre must be applied. Creative writing. Writing processes. Number 1. Planning. Develop the concepts of the project around the genre and topic. Organize information about groups, sections, and ideas. Make a mind map. 2. Rough work. First draft. Write a rough copy. Organize the sentences and paragraphs. Include visual elements. Proofreading. If you have typed your work, print it. Proofread the pages. Keep it in your portfolio as proof that you have improved on the text. Correct incorrect spelling and language use. 4 is editing. Correct sentence constructions. Pay attention to the correct use of style. 5. Final attempt. Submit the final written or typed research project. All research must be in the portfolio. The written part is also used in the oral phase. Topics for written work, grade 4 to 6. Suggestions. 1. Use the poem, story or drama that you have studied. Write your own short story about the theme. Write a book review about the story that you have read. 3. Write a dialogue between 2 main characters in the story that you have studied. 4. Write an article about an issue discussed in the story, drama or poem. 5. Create a poster on which you advertise a play that you have read and create a program in which you give information about the play and the actors. 6. Write your own folk tale. Apply the principles of folk tales as a genre when you write your story. 7. Create a cartoon strip with 6 or 8 frames about the main events in the story, drama or poem that you have studied. Add captions and dialogue and give it a title. 8. Write your own poems about studying poetry as a genre after studying poetry. 9. Write diary entries for 2 to 3 days. Pretend that you are a character in the story that you have read. Write your diary. Part 3. Oral presentation of the project. Learners talk briefly about the research they have done on the genre. Show the mind map. The main part of the oral presentation, learners tell about the creative writing project that they have done and show the final product to the class. The written work may not be read. The learners tell the audience about their research and writing. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you have learned something new. As you can see, we've got quite a team of people involved here, and we provide support materials for teachers and homeschool facilitators. Our materials consist of workbooks, study guides, revision materials, assessment tasks, and audiovisual material. If you want to contact us at any time, our contact details are on the screen. We are ready there to help you.